Hey everybody, it's your Survivor buddy Gordon Holmes here with your exit interview for Survivor 45, Episode 5. Yeah, that's right. Talking to Brando Calrissian in just a minute. Before we get into that, a couple of quick orders of business. First of all, my graphic novel is available on legacycomics.com. I'll put a link down below. It's called The Bad Guy. It's about pro wrestling, but it's not really about pro wrestling. It's about life and love and all those things. I wrote it. I illustrated it. I'm super proud of it. If you enjoy this channel, if you enjoy my Survivor content, if you enjoy me, and you want a way to support the channel, this is a great way to do it. It's only $5. Again, link down below. Also, my episode blogs with individual grades for all the players are available on my Substack. Again, link down below. Every Monday, the Survivor Power Rankings of Franny Marin, who has just taken the lead. And those are available every Monday right here on our YouTube channel. Also, follow me on X. Yeah, enough of that. Let's see what Brando has to say about last night's elimination. Oh, Brando. Boy, the first non-Lulu. Get the boot. How's
I
it
know.
feel? How's it
I
feel?
know. Hey, you know what? Survivor 45 history. I'll take it.
That's right.
Yeah. It was shocking when it happened, but I've had a lot of time to come to terms with it. So, watching last night was really fun, getting to finally see how that story unfolded.
Now they didn't show you approaching Emily until episode 5 when it seemed like it
Right.
was already too late. Was that an inaccurate edit? Had you been talking to her previously?
Right. So the biggest thing was that we heard in On Fire that Kendra went to Lulu Beach in the first episode, and we didn't get to see it. And so going into that tribe swap, Kendra and I were under the perception that we really had Emily as part of our three. So I didn't feel like I was in that much danger. But at the same time, I mean, yeah, I was strategizing with Emily. It's not like, we just didn't have any strategy talk. But I think the perception that we already had her maybe made me miss out on some of those crucial conversations that I should have had.
Okay. Heading into tribal, if you had to put a percentage on it, what percentage did you think Emily was in your corner?
Like 85%, maybe
Okay.
85, 90. But I was under the perception that not only was Emily with us and that there were going to be 3 Drew votes, but that there were going to be 2 Kendra votes and no Brando votes. So seeing my name, come up there and then be the person that goes home was startling, to say the least.
I thought your move to hand over your shot in the dark was clever. I was like, oh, that's like you can do Kendra, just don't do me. That seems like that seems like a small ask to me. So when he was like, no, too quick, I was like, what do you want, Drew? Or was it Basile? Do you know if you were talking to Drew?
Oh, that had to be Basile, 100%. Maybe when we were talking about Pokemon, it was Drew. But yeah, I appreciate the words. That was a little bit of a plagiarized move from Emily. I'm not going to lie. She did tell us that she gave Sabaya her shot in the dark at one point. But for me, it was, like you said, about building that trust with Drew and hoping that he would vote for Kendra instead. I thought it worked. Apparently it didn't.
I thought it was clever. You mentioned Emily talked about handing over her shot in the dark. What else did she tell you about her time at Lulu?
I think the biggest thing that she told us was that, she was in trouble. Like there was a conversation that they showed where she was worried talking to me, like, I think I might go home tonight. And in my mind, I'm like, in what world are you going home? You're in the middle of a group of 5. And so there was a little bit of almost like survivor shell shock with her, I guess, where she had to go to so many really stressful tribals where she thought she was going home and then ended up getting 0 votes at those tribals, which was crazy. But yeah, I think that was the big thing that she came to us with.
So she didn't open up about Sabaya having an idol or going
Oh,
home with
she
it.
did. You know what? She did. I forgot about that. She gave us the full rundown about what happened with Sabaya's idol, which, as someone on Bello who I had never seen or heard any talk about an idol, was a little bit of a wake-up call. Like, what are we doing?
What were you doing?
You know what? We were around camp. We were catching crabs. We were getting firewood. We were getting whatever we were told to get. And so there was a big leadership role, I think, that Bruce played at original Bello, where he was the fun uncle, but he was still a natural leader. I don't think that's something that he can fight. And so there was almost no time that any of us spent away from camp. There was a very heavy anti-idol hunting culture. And so in episode 3, I want to say, there's a little bit of a conversation between Kelly and I where we're kind of nervous about what's going on with Coutura, but we never really get the context. And the idea was she was constantly missing from camp. We knew that she was probably looking for the idol. She was gone for 2 or 3 hours. And there was such a big stigma around being missing at Original Bello that we were nervous about it, but at the same time, I don't think it would have been a big factor if we had gone to Tribal Council.
You tried the Pokemon stratagem, which I'm blown away didn't work. Also, the guy,
Right.
like it seemed like Drew shut you down, which seems like a big no-no in this game. What was your take when it felt
Right.
like there was no in with him?
Right. I was shocked because that was something where, in what world do you expect somebody to just blatantly say no to an alliance offer? And I think that's part of what motivated me to push for him so hard as the person that goes. But at the same time, I don't fault him for it because, he talks about how he was worried about me being strong with Bello. And the whole point of that move wasn't to actually work with him, but it was to get him to vote for Kendra. So it was sort of the same thing that I was trying to do with my shot in the dark. Ultimately, clearly neither of those worked.
Yeah, that's such a Basile move.
Yeah.
Drew would be into it, but not
Classic Basile. Classic
Uh,
Basile.
Jake, when he arrived at New Lulu, mentioned that there had been some talk during Sweat and Savvy about partnering up with Caleb. Were you a part of that?
Yes. So there was, when we were done with Sweat and Savvy, we all fail. Jake, Caleb, Sabaya, and I talked about how, we're going to be in a bad spot going back to camp, not having our supplies. And so we really have to look out for each other. And so coming, a swap or a merge or whatever, we wanted to use that original bond as like a way to have each other's backs.
Okay. When Austin returned from his little adventure to the island of excessive advantages, did you and Kendra buy his story about the challenge?
We did. The one thing that stood out to me was that Austin mentioned that there were sandwiches at on the journey. And that was the only part of his story that I didn't believe because I was like, in what world, is Jeff going to give you sandwiches after he just gave 2 out of 3 tribes fish, right? Like it doesn't make any sense to incentivize someone with food when half the people are going back with food or 2/3 of the people are going back with food anyways. So that was the only part that stood out to me. I believe the rest of it, I think, he did a fantastic job lying about that, about me being safe. And Drew did a fantastic job recovering from the whole, Pokemon Nerd Alliance thing. Even though I still voted for him, I felt like he was voting for Kendra. So they both did a really good job.
Is there something to, if you get taken out, at least you got taken out by 2 people who have got some savvy in their game? I think that's
exactly. I think, they're both, from what we've seen so far, really good players. So, and I have no animosity towards anybody on the cast. Absolutely love everyone. So
none of you have any animosity ever anymore. I came up.
It's part of the new era.
Survivor Gabon was my first season. Okay, I come from the Corinne Kaplan, Randy Bailey era where it was all animosity, but you guys are all BFFs.
I mean, hey, we saw some fighting on Lulu Beach, so at least you got that going.
A little bit, but during word association, it was like best friend, awesome. Speaking of which, we do a word association here. I'll give you someone's name. Give me the first word, a couple words that pop into your head. Let's start off with Emily.
Emily, I'm gonna go with Outlast. Like she's constantly just surviving these tribals where we were expecting her to go home.
Okay, Kendra.
Kendra, I'm gonna go with Extrovert. She's like always talking, always having a great time.
Okay, Kelly.
Kelly, she is my puzzle buddy. I'm gonna have to go with that. I guess that's 2 words. Maybe hyphenate it.
Right. Oh, she's done at the merge because you know how they go after smart people at the merge.
I mean, hey, they took me out, so who knows?
Let's try Coutura.
Coutura, I'm gonna go with Confident.
Drew.
Drew, I'm gonna go with Outwit. That dude is he's a genius.
Okay. Jake.
Jake, laughter. I don't know if we've gotten too much of it, but his Boston like booming laugh. Oh my god, it's the best.
Okay. Austin.
Austin, I'm gonna go with outplay. I mean, he's clearly got the guns, but he's also got a little bit of the brains. So
I like what you did there with the.
Thank you. I know. I'm not gonna lie. I might have acted like I was, thinking of those on the fly. Those 3 I had locked down.
Brando, come on, man. Let's finish off with Uncle Bruce.
Uncle Bruce. I'll go with leader. I don't know. Okay. I should have come up with one for him.
Oh, that one you didn't think of.
Yeah.
I know you've written on your hand. We've seen a lot of the Bruce Coutura feud, and it seems very one-sided. How does the rest of Original Bello feel about Bruce? Is anybody else as annoyed as Coutura is, or is this like a one-woman vendetta?
Right. So I didn't realize how annoyed Coutura was until watching back in the episodes. But I definitely think that, people were a little tired of being told what to do around camp. And had we gone to a tribal council at Original Bellow, I think Bruce would have been in trouble.
Okay. And Brando, what's this? What's
Yeah.
this, Brando?
The robot. Maybe that's supposed to be before my time or something as a 23-year-old, but
I'd be like, I think I know the robot, Bruce.
yeah.
So we did, the 90-minute episodes are amazing, but if a tribe doesn't go to tribal, we don't get to see a whole lot of them. Was there anything
Right.
that happened at Original Bellow that you wish we had seen?
Right. I think, the biggest thing for me came at the swap where there was something in my buff, right? So I get my buff, I'm feeling it, I'm opening the package, I'm like, this feels weird. And when I open it up, there's a piece of Survivor parchment with writing on it stitched into my buff. So I rip it out, I shove it in my pocket because I don't want anyone to catch me reading it like on the mat, right? And so when we get back to camp, I get asked to go for a walk pretty quickly. And I'm like, oh, this is so I can read the advantage that I haven't read yet. And so I hand it over before taking a look at it. And I ended up being told, like, oh, this is just going to confuse you. And I never get to see what it said. And so in my mind, I think that had I read it on the mat at the swap, I might have been able to swap with somebody else on a different tribe. So maybe I could have gone to Lulu with, the rest of Bello. Maybe I could have swapped somebody else on the other tribes. Who knows? But whatever it was, I think it was time sensitive, and I missed that window.
It just been a love note.
Yeah.
Like me, check yes or no.
Congratulations on making the swap.
Right. I mean, you're a young guy, so you don't know what the robot is. You might not know what it is to pass notes to each other.
Yeah.
We're running out of time here. Real quick, how important was it you to be to best Brandon to win over that Brando feud? Like, that's a huge takeaway.
I'm not gonna lie, it did come up on the beach a few times. But meeting him at Ponderosa, absolutely love the guy. He's been one of the people who, we've helped each other throughout the ups and downs of, the airing and waiting for the show to air. He's amazing. And, I wouldn't trade him for anything.
So the ups and downs is like, hey, our trailer's release, and the downs, I gotta talk to Gordon. So that's awesome that he helped you through this.
No, we love, what? Also, we love talking to you. He's my Survivor resource, right? If I ever have questions about, oh, who's this person in the community? Like, how do I go about doing this? He is the person who knows everything about Survivor and the internet. So that's also been
like, let me tell you how to deal with this jerk. Brando, you're a ton of fun to watch. I wish we'd see more of you.
Thank you.
And hope you have a great day.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks. Great talking to you.
You too.